So usually what I would do is I would go into the elbows next. And even, honestly, when I have enough time, even into the wrists, yeah, to kind of follow the major joints, and then into the knees, and then the ankles for the day. Just, we don't have too much time.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do is, so we worked a lot on the center. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna work with your upper extremities first, and I'm just gonna show you that sliding peripheral touch, just kind of on your arms right here, right?
Sure.
So with the sliding touch, with the periphery, we always would start working on kind of the part of the limb that is closer to the center. So if we start working on the center, we just kind of move over here and then move over here, and like fingers, for example, is the very last thing that we will work with. So for today, I will only honestly work on your upper arms, just to show you the sliding touch, the peripheral touch, right?
Okay.
So here what we would do is, you can just relax. At first, I will try a feather touch, and I do it with the back of my hand. And this one is only touching the peripheral, not peripheral, sorry, superficial, so the very surface vessels. And what I do, I bring it to the armpit, to the lymph nodes that will collect that fluid. And so technically for you, we don't even need to do a lot of superficial work because you don't have major edema anywhere. But I still want to show you. So my touch is feather-like, very, very gentle. Sometimes when my hands are sweaty, it's not moving, so it's nice to have them dry. So you see, and I'm doing all of this without any lotion or cream. I'm clearly imagining that I'm drawing fluid, and I bring it to the armpit. Then I do it on, try to do it on every surface of the arm. And with the limbs, technically, when we can bring it up like this, it's going to help me because the fluid is going to be moving down.
It's natural.
Usually you will see us, all of us, not all of us, but some of us will get older when we think of the flap right here. Sometimes you can even like see what it's filled with fluid. And I was working on a client the other day, and I would just like do a few strokes like this here, and like that fatty flap will evaporate. So it's not fat or skin, it's that fluid sitting in there, not reaching the lymph nodes of the armpit.
Interesting.
So again, I do it for you. I'll do it just kind of once along all the surfaces because you're good. But then I will go deeper with you. And here I will, I call it also milking. Kind of, it's imagine that you're a sack full of jello, and I need to move that jello up. I move it up, and I stop. And I stop so I don't let it drain down. Move it up, and I stop. Move it up, stop. I don't know why, it's just like, yeah, it feels like I'm milking something towards the armpit. here I'm putting a little bit more pressure, but I still have to not overdo it. I'm imagining that I'm having to move all the fluids closer to the bone, in all the tissue closer to the bone. Do it several times.
If you were doing the full arm, would you still switch? Like do upper, then
I'll do
the whole arm and then the other. Okay.
Exactly. So here I just want to talk about something. Just to really differentiate that I'm moving fluid versus just touching you. So if I were to like, okay, I need to do a light touch, superficially. I'll do it like that. It was pretty clear, and maybe some lymph got moved. But for me, I really, even if the touch is slightly superficial, I still keep that connection and remember that fluid, like the water, like in this kind of position of your arm, it can't move like really quick, right? So I have to really keep the image in my mind that I am moving fluids along very tiny vessels. And that's what gives my touch a very particular quality, like a very intentional quality.
So if someone had really like dry skin, where kind of that fluid light touch was harder, would you use lotion or something, or that kind of?
Good question. I think I would experiment with it. Like right now, it's just because I'm kind of hesitating because I just haven't tried it.
Yeah.
And actually, it's a good question. I had that thought, but I never kind of followed up on researching about it. But I think, for example, in case of Jesse, if it's painful, as simple as that, and you still want to do lymphatic, and using lotion makes it less painful, or oil, whatever. Yes, make it more comfortable. Yeah. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. So to, as I said, when we did the upper arms, but I would do the whole arms and then move into the legs and the head as well. And like that would really, when you would work with the periphery of the hands and the feet, it would like truly stimulate. It will help the movement of the lymph because we work with places that actually need that a lot to have the whole system of lymph, the whole lymphatic system engaged. Yeah. So to actually get you to do that, because we work with our hands a lot, let's. I will get you to find maybe whatever spot you feel more comfortable with. Yeah. Yeah. And so, and first you'll have your right hand on top of it, and then in a few moments just switch to have your left. Again, remember the sensation that the touch that I was giving you. What did it feel like? And just see if you can create it for yourself. But also, to stimulate the lymph in your hands as well, imagine that your tummy is touching your hands. So while you're stimulating the lymph in your tummy, kind of the skin of the tummy, the texture of the tummy can like pump the lymph in your hands as well. So it goes back and forth. You can have, maybe when you're ready, you can switch to have the other hand. With that pumping motion, kind of do it in the way that feels really comfortable for you. Like whatever I told you, however I touched you, you can let it go. Like what feels most connected when you pump, and do that. And when you're ready, you can find an end to it. And here what we will do is, we did the upper arms. Experiment with that feather superficial touch on your just like all those tiny little silver like hairs almost. Sometimes they're so tiny, those muscles. And helping them. And noticing what kind of emotional state this kind of touch reminds you of. Maybe it doesn't remind you of anything, just noting. And do the other arm. Again, though you're touching with your fingers, and you're touching your arm, imagine that your arm is touching your fingers in the same light quality. And when you're ready, go into the other arm. Maybe you can place your arms where they feel maybe more comfortable, but let's try that milking. Now you're going deeper, and you're touching a tube filled with jello or crushed ice. And still gently. more firm. Move it up. Noting that you're not touching muscle, you're not touching fascia, you're not touching bone, you're touching the water underneath your skin. And when you're ready, move on to the other one. The milking. Moving it up and stopping. Moving it up and stopping. And do the last few touches, whatever feels good. You might squeeze your muscle to just return back or shake it off, do whatever. Just let it go. Return the